Daryl here, and this is my daily devotional. Have you ever been falsely identified? You know, our personal identity has a lot to do with our self-esteem. If we don't have a positive personal identity, then our self-esteem is going to suffer. In other words, if you do not know who you are, then how are you supposed to feel good about yourself? You've got to know who you are. I think it's most important to know that I'm a child of God. First and foremost, my personal identity is that I am a child of God. And if anyone was to falsely identify me as anything but that, I hope I could quickly correct them, but I hope it wasn't by my actions that caused them to wrongly identify me. Well, Moses grew up in the palace of Egypt, and I'm sure he became Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? He dressed like an Egyptian. He walked like an Egyptian. You know the old song. Well, all that to say this, he wasn't an Egyptian. He was a Hebrew. His mother and his father, they were all of the Hebrew race, brought in their family tree from Canaan when Jacob and the whole clan came with Joseph to be saved from the famine. But Moses, well, he's never been to Canaan, but his bloodline was that of a Hebrew. Now, he knew that. He had to have known that, because when he saw that Egyptian beating the Hebrew slave, there was something in him that recognized that that was really his people being enslaved. That's really his people being beaten. And so when he killed that Egyptian, and that murder was found out, and Pharaoh then was out to kill him, it was then that Moses hightailed it out of town to Midian. Now when he arrived there, he sat down at a well. Now I'm sure at this point he's contemplating, who am I? What am I going to do? I'm not welcome now in the palace of Pharaoh. And he doesn't know who he is, even as a Hebrew. So there he is, sitting there at the well at Midian. Now there was a priest of Midian. I'm in Exodus 2 at verse 16. A priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their flocks. But some shepherds came along and drove them away. But Moses got up and came to the rescue and watered the flock. So once again, he sees some folks being cruelly treated, like he saw the slave cruelly treated. And he drives these shepherds away so these 7 daughters could have their father's sheep watered. Verse 18. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" Here we go, verse 19. They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." You see, they misidentified him. They thought he was an Egyptian. Why? Well, I suppose because he was dressed like an Egyptian, he walked like an Egyptian, he talked like an Egyptian, and if it's a duck, it's going to have all the qualities of a duck. So he had all the qualities of an Egyptian. But he was not an Egyptian. He was Hebrew to the core of his bloodline. So, verse 20. "And where is he?" he asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man who gave his daughter Zipporah in marriage to Moses. That happened rather quickly. I'm sure some time has passed. Zipporah gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have become an alien in a foreign land. At this point, Moses' personal identity is in contrast. It's in conflict. He doesn't know who he is. But praise God, as we turn the page and we go into chapter 3, we see God calling out Moses. And Moses learns his true identity. God bless you. Good day.